Well, we're back.
Yeah, we're back, and mate. Every time we come to the end of a section, I'm thinking there is just so much more to say, even on that subject alone. But we want to give you some content to work with.
Yeah.
That's why we break it up into the smaller segments and give you really powerful key themes to work with.
I got to ask something.
Okay.
We're talking about winning teams.
Yes, we are.
And winning teams, but every winning team has got a coach.
Correct.
And you're a coach.
I am a coach.
How do coaches work with teams?
Okay. I want to touch on that because I am a coach, and as we know in the athletics world, the coach is really important. And in professional team sports or any sports now, there's multiple coaches doing multiple skills.
They are. I mean, some are the technical coaches, some are the personal development coaches, some are just coaches that listen and reflect back and let the person discover who they are.
So what the coach does is fundamentally engages with the players and takes care of them. He's concerned about the players as people, not necessarily how they're going to perform, but he wants to understand them as people, because we're all unique. Just like a snowflake, every snowflake is unique. Every person is unique with a unique DNA, unique fingerprints, unique voice expression, and there's so many unique things about us that separate us uniquely in this whole world, even though there's almost 7 billion of us, and that is an amazing number to think about. So he cares personally.
Especially when we're all different.
Oh, absolutely. So this is a personal engagement with the players one-on-one. And a good coach will often not only work collectively, but he'll work individually with that player, and he understands what that player actually believes in, what his motivations are, what will actually spark him.
How do you do? I mean, you are a coach.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
How do you do that? How do you get to understand?
The power of that is listening to the key dimensions of that person. Let me illustrate it this way. A business guy was once wanting to do that for his staff.
Yes.
And he'd done a number of exercises to reward and recognize people, but there was one lady he couldn't figure out what would be really good for her. Until one day, he'd heard a third-hand story that she was kind of a bit of a gardener. So he checked it out quietly, and he found out that she really does love renewing her garden, and it was coming up to that season where you renew the garden. So she was in the garden, and a van drew up outside the front, the door slid back, and the boss got off and carried to her a whole bunch of plants that suited what she was doing, and she was just over the moon because he'd taken the time to listen and taken the time to listen and understand that person. And I think sometimes, the phrase is fools rush in where...
fools rush in where others dare to tread.
That's right, dare to tread. And we, in other words, what we're doing is we jump too quickly and we make conclusions too quickly. But a good coach actually listens and observes. And it's not just about his interaction, it's about observing the person interacting with others and the kinds of stories that they actually tell.
So look before you leap.
Oh, yeah, that's another really good one. Absolutely. So it really is power. And what this does is it creates a common vision for everybody, for the coach and the players and the players and the coach and the players with the players. It's really quite powerful. And now I know in NFL in America, they have 53 people who make up the team, who play the game, but they probably have another 53 support staff to help them actually achieve their objectives. But only 11 can actually be on the ground at any one time.
Yeah, they've only got a split team, haven't they? The one is
our
American audience will understand
absolutely.
it.
So,
I was watching the game playing in the snow. They still played.
Yes, they do. Yeah, absolutely. They
Nothing stops them. That's commitment.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So this is the power of what it means is there is a common vision and a common value because they are working together. So this is really, really important for us to understand what the coach and the players really do and how they engage with each other.
One thing you mentioned the American gridiron there, and I do love that game. It's very distinctive. That's what I love about it. There is an offensive and there's a defensive team, and they understand both very, very well, and they understand how to interchange. is when you're a business coach, I know I drifted a little bit into your world, does that reflect in your world as well, offensive and defensive coaching? Is it more like, well, now we're concentrating on growth, but here now we're concentrating on maybe consolidation?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Here's the problem we face. If we focus on, say, metrics, and we grow the metric muscle,
right,
we'll look pretty ugly. So my style of coaching is holistic. I want to touch on many areas and dimensions of you as a person, you and your business, etc. All the dimensions of what a business is. But I say to my clients when I first start with them, it's going to take time to actually get where you want to get and develop the skills that you need to develop. And each unique conversation we have is unique to the context of where that client is in their movement and growth. And so the coach and his team has got to not only understand what it means to start the pre-season and the exercises you do there, then the dynamic of the season activity, what goes on when you're actually needing to really engage and win a game or win a sprint or achieve a PB, all those dimensions. And then post-season, what happens there? So there's numerous dynamics, and I think sometimes what we do is we overemphasize certain areas and we think if we do that, we'll be successful. No, it's a team, and you're coaching a team with multiple dimensions and multiple dynamics and multiple personalities and multiple behaviors and multiple skill sets and multiple strengths and multiple weaknesses. And there's much to take on board and much to be aware of. But when you work as that, there is a sense of collective purpose that actually can take place. And you can say, right, this is where we want to go and this is what we want to do. And it really is quite powerful when the coach and the team really work hand in hand. And we know from history now, we can look back on successful teams have not only a successful coach, but they have a successful coaching relationship with the players, and the players have a successful relationship with the coach. It's personal, it's individual, and we can put aside the skills because that is really powerful, because a coach will get more out of his players, just like you as a business owner will get more out of your team when you know them and you're engaged with them one-on-one, you're engaged with them collectively, they understand where we're going. And so the power of developing winning teams is the power of this relationship and understanding we're going here. And they say, yay, let's do this. I'm not sure how we're going to do it, but I recognize that person's got that person's got that, I've got this, you've got that, and together the power of that is absolutely amazing.
So before we go, I know we're running short on this, we've only got probably about a couple of minutes left, but you often hear as a business owner, and as you say, he's coaching his team all the time, he's coaching his staff. Does that mean that when we hear often peer reviews, the peer review isn't so much the review, but is as much about him understanding and looking for those golden moments where he can help that person become a better person, rather than traditionally we might have seen it as a, well, you did this wrong, and you got a 7 here, and you got a 5 there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we often use performance management language in the wrong way. We often will see it, particularly for the players or the staff, is that I'm going to be in trouble. The boss calls me into the office, I'm going to be in trouble. That's the wrong dimension. So I want you to be aware that we're actually, the power of winning teams and the coach and the player relationship is to build and strengthen and get the most out of everybody engaged in that relationship. So this bigger vision, the direction where we're going as a team, we want to win this comp or we want to do this. That's where we're going with this.
Beautiful.
So we're going to be back in just a short while, but in the meantime,
subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Subscribe and leave your comments.
And please leave your comments. We're looking forward to building our team and really working on what we can do together. Thank you so much.